for their man Graham. This is where he had his first professional fight, some 13 years ago. Ashton taking the benefit of the full minute's rest before he came up off the stool. So a quarter of this fight now passed. Both men injured. And O'Connell having a real struggle here to keep it clean. That long southpaw reach of Graham's beginning to play a part here. He reaches out with the right hand and finds that vulnerable area around the left eye of Ashton. But Ashton is a very determined challenger. Way back in the late 70s and early 80s, Ashton was quite a useful amateur. He won a National Association of Boys Clubs title, and he won some Midland Counties championships in the early 80s. He's been a pro since 86. It's astonishing that he's only had the 19 fights. Once again, Larry O'Connell reads the riot act. I'm the boss. Do what I tell you, or else. You can tell how frustrating it must be for a rival of Graham's. Every time they sort of try to get close and do something, they find themselves suddenly smothered in a flurry of punches. He is one of the most accurate punchers in the world, and is now pushed over in an undignified manner. Graham instantly gives his gloves to Larry O'Connell to have them wiped on the shirt. It's a real sign of an old pro. So a very interesting fight, but at times an extremely messy one. That was a good cracking left hand by Herol Graham, and I thought for a moment Ashton might even go down. And I think Ashton's still taking a few moments to recover, and he won't be too sorry to hear that bell. As Graham, the master that he is. Certainly the most accomplished technical boxer in this country. He's won everything open to him in the professional game except a world title. But there's still time. Replay from the fourth. Left hand and then the right, following up two good punches. The left was partly blocked. And that was what led to Graham's tumble. Doctor in close attendance, while Brendan Ingle works on the injured arm.
10 seconds. Seconds up. Round 5.
It's hard to see now quite what Ashton can do in this fight, unless he can worsen the injury over Graham's left eye. He's being outboxed. He's making these big lunging efforts, but he's paying for them. And Graham is looking more confident by the moment. Break there. Well, it's not an easy fight to control. Mr. O'Connell is handling it pretty well. You can understand Graham's anxiety to do really well in this fight, having come back from a bad setback in a world title fight. It's a very edgy night for him. The whole of this crowd in the City Hall, or most of them anyway, on his side. And he wants to look good in front of his own people. At the same time, Ashton is still there and still quite determined. That was a fair right from Ashton. When he shortens the punches and catches Graham coming in, he looks reasonably effective. The rest of the time, a lot of his work is very ragged. Ashton now pinning his faith on that big right hand. But as he's only ever had one win inside the distance, you wonder whether it can really be effective. No place to be on the ropes. Ashton needs to get away from there. And the bell will get him off him. His work cut out now if he's going to get anywhere in this fight.
Bonus 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 6.
So John Ashton, the unsung challenger from Alfreton in Derbyshire, halfway between Nottingham and Mansfield. Ashton out for the 6th against the comeback champion, Herol Graham. ABA middleweight champion Graham was back in 1978, and here we are 13 years on, and he's still very much a master of his craft and showing it. There's so many people decrying the fact that the technique of boxing seems to be dying out in this country. It's good to see that somebody like Graham is keeping it very much alive. And this is all beginning to look rather too much for John Ashton, as Graham begins to find the target all too easily in round 6. And Ashton's attempt to win this title is looking all but spent. Beginning to soak up rather too much. And there's a despairing look about Ashton now, because I think he knows the fate that awaits him. I don't think there's any coming back from this. Barry O'Connell looking at him very closely. O'Connell will have to decide just how much he's going to allow Ashton to take, and this is by far the worst round he's had. And the referee has seen enough. Wise decision. He gave him every chance. The master of his craft, Herol Graham, 32 years old, defends his British middleweight title and signals, yet again, that he's a legitimate challenger for the European and world titles. And one hopes that one day, in the not too distant future, Graham will realise his ambition to become a world champion. He's got the ability to be one. He should have done it 13 months ago and didn't. I just hope he gets another chance, and soon.
A year's layoff, I came back, okay, I stopped the guy in the 6th round, but the first 2 rounds were sort of tense for me. It's a bit of tension, and everybody could see it. But after that, I started getting relaxing and getting back into my old self.
What happens now?
Oh dear, we don't know. We're shouting for Ben, we're shouting for Eubanks, we're shouting for a World Championship fight. So we're going to find out what happens from here. We'd love a Eubanks fight, really. So he's shouting his mouth off. That is the best. He's simply the best. And I want to simply show him he's not the best.
I think you've got some video evidence that suggests that perhaps he isn't the best.
Yes, we have, and we will pass it over to you. Yeah, we've got a lot of evidence of that. We recorded the sparring we had together, and a lot of people says, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" We've got it on video, what I did to him, and why he won't fight me, really.
I think the most likely outcome of this shouting, as you say, is probably a fight with Kalambe for the European title. A score to settle there.
Yeah, I've got 3 scores to settle, actually. One with Kalambe, there's Mike McCallum and Julian Jackson. They're the 3 I want, really. I mean, if I can size it, Kalambe, go straight for World Championship with McCallum, that'd be even better, or Jackson. Preferably Jackson, because he actually stopped me, and the first man to stop me.
I think the British public would like to see a fight with Eubank or Ben. What do you make of Ben? You've mentioned Eubank. What do you make of Ben as a fighter?
Ben, well, Ben, I'll do him a bit easier than Eubanks. Eubanks will take about a round longer, Ben 2 rounds shorter.
How's it been for you watching them two really carve up the middleweight scene in terms of the big money fights? It must have been highly frustrating.
It is a bit frustrating, yeah, but you just got to sit down and what can you do? You've got to sit and watch it or shout about it. As much as I shout about it, it doesn't really matter. But hopefully someone will come up with the big money and say, right, let's get this on the road. And whether it's Ben or Eubanks, I don't really care. I'd even take them one after the other on the same night.